You are listening to From Ring to Veil.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kim.
And we are your wedding planning gurus.
We take the stress out
and put the fun back into wedding planning. Wedding Weather Catastrophes, episode number 189.
Good morning, lovely listeners, or afternoon or evening, whenever you are listening. Take a second, pause, and subscribe to this show.
We have an awesome Facebook group called the From Ring to Veil Wedding Planning Community. It is on Facebook, of course, and all you have to do is search it on the search bar, and you can find it. You answer 2 simple questions, whether you're getting married or if you're a vendor, and we'll let you in to our exclusive club.
It's really been good and growing, and lots of questions and answering going on, and it's very exciting to see all these wedding planning peeps getting some good information.
And plus you can vent too. There's been some venting going on recently, which is okay. We'll listen.
That's right.
And people will give you advice. Seems to be a lot of bridesmaid drama lately.
Yeah, it's, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
We also have our Seattle metro area wedding planning resource guide up for grabs on Amazon. You can find that by clicking on the links in the show notes, which you can find either on the website, that's fromringtoveil.com/189, or right there in your podcasting app. Hopefully the one that you're using has clickable links and it'll take you right there. But if not, you can go to fromringtoveil.com/RG paperback or fromringtoveil.com/RG Kindle.
So the time has come when Kim gets really, really busy for the holiday season.
That's right.
The company her husband and her own hangs Christmas lights. So yes, it's coming on Christmas light season. So we regret to inform you that we are going to have to go to an every other week format until we come back from our little vacay between December and January.
But we're also happy to tell you that we are still going to be podcasting every other week. So we are going to be here. We will be giving you new shows. And we've got a few fun, interesting guest hosts signed up and ready to record and share their fun stuff with you. So I promise we're still giving you good information, just not every single week like we have been.
And if we like this format, we may keep it that way because we will both be busy after the first of the year goes up. So, yes, we do have lives.
Yes.
Other than podcasting.
That's true. But again, we're not planning on quitting at all.
No.
So don't get that. Don't get that impression. We're not planning on quitting.
No.
So no matter in what way it comes, there'll still be a From Ring to Veil podcast for you. All right. So we picked this topic because the weather's been crazy, right? We've got hurricanes and earthquakes and tornadoes and
forest
eruptions. I'm just kidding. No eruptions yet, but forest fires. So we thought, what do you do when there's a wedding catastrophe? When there's something that happens that nobody even considered happening? Oh, and flooding. Did we say flooding?
Yeah, well, hurricanes consider flooding anyway.
That's right.
But what do you do when Mother Nature's wrath comes barreling down on your wedding day?
Right. So we came up with a few things to share with you.
Communication is key in all things. Okay. Keep your family and friends and guests informed of all information regarding storms and changes. The weather people know about these storms, and they know about where they're going to go at least a week in advance. Like if it's a hurricane, at least anyway. So keep your eye on the weather and keep your family and friends informed. And this would be a good time to have a wedding website, because that way you can say, hey, look on my wedding website for up-to-date information. So
that's right. It would also be a good to make sure that you have a plan B, right? You got your wedding plans all lined out. You've been planning for months. You've been planning for maybe even a year. What's your plan B if something happens? We do have a awesome episode on the weather and your plan B, which is episode number 83. So from ringtoveil.com/83 if you want to listen to that. We explain things like being aware of the weather, indoor, outdoor areas for receptions and your ceremony. You know, is there even that option? Even planning a plan B with your planner. Planning a plan B with your planner. That's fun to say. Make sure that, because a lot of the planners already know how to do this kind of stuff. So check out that episode and listen to that about your plan B.
Mm-hmm. Keep informed of airline cancellations and airport closures, because they will happen, especially if the storms come in, or there is, like, the West Coast had all of those fires. Anything can happen. Airport shut down, flights get canceled. Like in Seattle, when I went up there to visit Kim, they were still having flight cancellations because of all the smoke that was around because they couldn't see.
That's right.
So
communicate with your vendors and venue. Just keep an open line of communication there. Remember when we had a listener that was getting married, I believe it was in Oregon last summer, and they had closed the area that she was supposed to be getting married in because of fires.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up that she was able to do it in the end where she wanted to, but it could have been something she had to find another place for.
Right.
Which I think she had another place just in case. So yeah, keep a email, text going with these vendors and stuff, because they're going to need to know too.
Right.
What if they try to show up and it's, it's, we've moved.
Also, make sure you have contracts with these vendors. In their contracts, they usually have a weather clause, or what they call an act of God clause, which tells you whether if you need to cancel, what money you get back, or if you get any money back or anything like that. How they will reschedule you if that has to happen. So make sure you read your contracts. Contracts are necessary. Please.
Absolutely. Obey all the government warnings and evacuation orders. Don't risk it. It really is not worth risking lives, period, for something like this. A wedding, yes, it's a very important day in your life, but your life is more important.
Find alternate date or locations for ceremony and reception. If you know something imminent is happening, contact your venue right then and say, hey, is there another place that I could have my ceremony and reception that you know of? Maybe they have friends in the business that have an opening somewhere further out from where the evacuation orders or anything like that is. So we said communication with your vendors, venue, planner, all of this. So find an alternate date, or because you already have your marriage license, okay? And usually marriage license don't last longer than 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing says that you can't get married. Go to the Justice of the Peace in your town, or in a town in that state, because you can get married in any part of the state as long as you have your marriage license. So you can keep your honeymoon dates if they're already scheduled, so you don't have to reschedule that, because usually if you don't have honeymoon or travel insurance, you lose all that money. You won't get it back.
That's right.
So if you have honeymoon dates that you cannot reschedule, go get married in front of the Justice of the Peace, and then have your ceremony and reception for all of your guests later. That's an alternative for you.
That's right. Because I think sometimes that venues and vendors might work with you a little bit, especially if it has something to do like a huge weather-related event, that they may work with you a little bit on just changing the date and maybe not having to pay any more or much more if that's the case.
Right. If you can't get married or you have to change your honeymoon dates, then do so. Maybe you'll have to eat a little bit of cost. Maybe they'll work with you since they know, hey, there was a hurricane or a fire. You did not get married at this date. Let's see what we can do. Mm-hmm. Just talk to them.
That's right. Hey, it never hurts to ask. Mm-hmm. That's something I've learned in my long life. And lastly, be a good Samaritan and donate to causes to help the victims of the storms.
Or fires. Or tornadoes.
Or disasters.
Yeah. So that's just a little update because, we did have the bad hurricane in North Carolina recently and all the fires this summer in the West Coast and all of that. So it happens. We hope it doesn't happen to you, but it has happened to some people. I've heard many stories because, North Carolina and South Carolina are key wedding destinations because they're, they have outdoor weddings, they have beaches, they have all the nice places to go get married, and a lot of them had to be rescheduled or canceled. Just like this past weekend, I heard on the news because we had a very bad rainstorm here in Texas or in my area on Friday. These wedding guests got stranded because it rained so hard, and they were in a venue next to a river, and the river rose very, very rapidly, and they got stranded and had to be rescued. So, it can happen anytime.
Yeah.
No warning.
They obviously weren't prepared.
Right. Please be prepared. Be a Boy Scout. Always be prepared.
Always be preparing.
If a catastrophe happens before your wedding, do you know what the best way to keep your guest informed is? Is through your wedding website, which Zola makes that really simple.
There are over 500,000 couples that use Zola for a wedding website. You can conveniently manage everything online in one place, and it saves so much time and is very easy to use.
Zola also has save the dates and invitations. They have over 100 beautiful designs, and they are easy to customize with photos and your own wording.
And they have lots of free stuff. For example, free guest addressing, free matching envelopes, free wedding websites, free guest list manager. You can even order a free sample pack of Zola's papers so that you can touch and feel them in person. I've ordered ours and I have not received it yet, but I will let you know what they feel like when we get them.
Zola has over 500 top brands if you register for your wedding gifts at Zola. You can register for KitchenAids and Cuisinarts and all kinds of stuff. Plus, you can create a honeymoon fund at Zola. So you can get travel gift cards from airlines and resorts and things like that too.
In our experience, registering in Zola is very easy. And something that's really fun is that you can match your registry with your invitations and save the date. So as you know, we talk about keeping everything cohesive. That's exactly what we're talking about. If you are ready to get 30% off your save the dates and invitation order, sign up at zola.com/FRTV.
That's Zola, ZOLA.com/FRTV. We have a couple of listener questions this time.
Yay!
And one of them is it appropriate to send wedding announcements to distant families, but not an invite?
I think the simple answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fine.
Yeah. We found some answers to this question through a Huffington Post article, which I like HuffPost because they have lots of wedding info on there most of the time.
They do.
Yeah. So we have the link if you want to look at it. It is fine to send a wedding announcement to anyone who did not receive an invitation.
You need to send these announcements as soon as possible after the wedding. So you wouldn't be sending them before so that people do not mistake them as an invitation.
Right. My advice would be to have them already addressed and stamped and delegate someone to send them out the day after because you are not going to have time or remember to do them because, hey, you have a lot going on.
Yeah, hopefully you're off on your honeymoon having fun.
Yeah.
By sending an announcement, there's no obligation for them to send a wedding gift, so don't be expecting that. Some of them will because that's just politeness and, they feel like they want to send you a gift. So you will receive some, but don't expect them.
Right. If you are having an intimate wedding with only close friends and family, it is okay to send an announcement to distant family and friends because the wedding party is small. If you haven't seen Great Aunt Sally in 5 to 10 years, she's not really close family. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but you haven't seen them. They're not intimate. They're not close to you. So why would they get an announcement for an intimate wedding or an invitation to an intimate small wedding? So yes, it is okay to send an announcement.
There you go.
Just to reiterate.
That question answered. Done. Next question. This one is asking what to splurge on and what to save money on. I know we've talked about this a million times, but it's really up to you. You need to go through your list and say, what is most important to me?
You need to figure out what is important to you. So make a priority list between you and your fiancé. Do that priority list from most important to least important. And then eliminate the unimportant items on each list. I'll give some examples. As you know, Kim and I are anti-favor.
Unless it's super good, don't do it. Don't waste your money on that.
Yeah. They're unimportant. Guests forget them. If they're not in their eye line, they will not pick it up. Most of them are drunk after the end of the night and won't remember them anyway. You're providing them with a meal. You're providing them with a party.
Mm-hmm.
That's their gift.
And they get to see you in all your blissed out happiness.
Right. If decor or flowers aren't that important to you, find a way to cut costs by DIYing or minimally purchasing flowers and decor.
Your floral person can absolutely help you with this. If you have a smaller budget for it, they can work within it. And if they can't, they'll send you somebody else. And you can find someone that can work within that limit. And they will absolutely help you.
Splurge on what you think is important. If you want awesome photos, hire a great photographer and a videographer. Okay? If food is important, go all out on your food with a great caterer. So, if those are the two main priorities for you as a couple going into this wedding, photography and food, that's what you should spend your money on.
That's right. And you should. That's what we would. But really, absolutely, the photographer is probably, I would say, number one. If you're going to spend any money, spend it on the photographer because I promise you're going to want those photos.
Right. That's our opinions.
This is our opinions, yes. That's what it's called. From Ring to Veil by Shannon and Kim. All right. Last but not least question. We have somebody that says, I'm interested in the possibility of not having a wedding party or to do so only in name, but not standing at the altar. My fiancé does not like the bridesmaids, groomsmen idea, but I have some amazing women in my life I want to include. This is a really good question because I think there's more people out there like this nowadays than there used to be.
Right. And it is okay not to have a bridal party. They can't be a name only. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Our advice is always you do you. We need to have shirts that say that.
I can make them.
Yeah, do that.
You can find those online at fromringtoveil.com/TEE. I will put those up there as soon as I can. But also, I was thinking about this. That'd be kind of fun that, let's say you don't have a wedding party standing up with you, but you have these people in name only. You could always ask them to wear the same things, so like they are special people in the crowd that other people, that's the same thing so-and-so is wearing, and they can just be part of something, be part of your group.
Also, you can have them involved in planning parties or planning your wedding. Let them plan and participate in showers, bachelor parties, luncheons. They can make toasts at the reception. Mm-hmm. Just like a regular bridesmaid, maid of honor, groomsmen will do. They all make toasts.
And, I think some people, especially if they're introverted, might like this idea anyway. I would love to be a bridesmaid, but I'm not standing up there with you, kind of thing. Make sure you explain to your friends the reasons that you are not having a wedding party. If they're good friends, they will understand, and they will probably be absolutely happy to be part of your party in name only. Mm-hmm. And thank them during the reception, of course.
Yeah, you can acknowledge them. Say, "This is my bridesmaid and my maid of honor. Thank you for being part of my life and helping me plan and doing all the things that they did for you while you were planning this." So just, acknowledge them. Of course, if it was acknowledging me, I'd be there with a red face and hiding my face. But anyway, That's why I'm behind the mic, not in front of
the video camera.
Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Totally. So, again, thank you guys for these questions. We absolutely love them. We love to answer your questions on the show, only because it makes us feel like you are seeking us out for our awesome advice and opinions, because we do know a little bit about this stuff. So if you would like to send us an email, info@fromringtoveil.com is how you do it. If not, join our Facebook group, the From Ring to Veil Wedding Planning Community. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Just answer those questions.
Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Alexa, CastBox, and Google Podcasts.
And until next time, no stress, no worries. Keep calm and listen on. Music provided by bensound.com.
Wedding weather catastrophes.
Yeah, that's great. You're right there.